Well, just when you thought the Messi spot, aka the top right hand corner of these charts, would no longer be there because Messi is gone, a new player has taken over the spot. The following chart looks at through passes per 90, then compares it to assists per 90. So a player on the top left like Olmo provides a ton of through balls but doesn't get a ton of assists. This indicates that he's providing a lot of key passes, creating a lot of chances, but isn't necessarily providing the final pass before the ball is put in the back of the net. On the opposite end, if a player is all the way to the right like Saka, it means he gets a lot of assists, but he doesn't play a ton of through balls. The explanation for Saka is very easy. The majority of his assists come from set pieces. That's what happens when you play the haram football of Mikel Arteta. It's just the reality. This graph is actually really nice because it visually shows you that not all assists are equal. I mean, don't get it wrong, putting a corner in the right spot every single time is difficult. Not everyone can do it. But there should be more recognition for players who create chances and get assists from open play. And that's exactly what the players in the top right do. So in the Messi corner, that's what I'm going to call it from now on, is Lamine Yamal. So Yamal not only gets a ton of assists, but he plays a ton of through balls. It's not a surprise that he leads La Liga in assists and is at the top for chances created. It matches the eye test. The teenager is having a really good season. This is chart number 2. Hansi Flick became the second fastest manager in Barcelona's history to reach the 100-goal milestone, doing it in just 32 matches. After 40 matches, Barca had scored 124 goals, more than 3 per game, and with 19 different goal scorers. So not only were they scoring, but they were passing around the goals like Bellingham's girl. Barca hadn't seen these type of numbers since Pep Guardiola's 2011-2012 team. Yes, the one that had Messi scoring 91 goals in a calendar year. During that season, Barca reached 190 goals in 64 matches, setting the record for the most goals by a European club in the 21st century, averaging around 2.97 goals per game at that time. It's going to be a tough record for Flick's Barca to break, simply because even with the Copa del Rey final, and let's say they reached the Champions League final, they would end up playing a maximum of 61 matches. Either way though, an incredibly impressive record. At one point, Barca had won 27.5% of their matches by a 4-goal margin. That's actually insane. In Xavi's last season with the club, Barca had scored 81 goals after 40 matches, so just over 2 per game. That's 1 fewer per game than the current average. Just shows you how dominant Flick's Barca have been in punishing teams and scoring goals. Now let's break down the goals in chart number 3. So you can score a lot of goals when you have the best front 3 in the world. Raphinha, Yamal, Lewandowski, it's the perfect blend. You got Lewandowski, who is the classic number 9, Raphinha, who is a direct outlet in behind, and Yamal, the creator. Barca hasn't had anywhere close to this level of quality up front since the MSN era, but there's more to it than just the front 3. While Flick has had a preferred starting 11, he has been using the bench a lot. Look at the following chart. Only Atletico have had their bench score more goals. The reason Barca's bench has been so good is that Flick has rejuvenated many players. Ferran Torres has looked like the guy that we saw at City and in that first season at Barca. He looks like a new man. He's been incredible off the bench, scoring massive goals, coming in clutch. At times I'm looking on the pitch and I think I'm seeing David Villa again. Then it also helps that there's a player like Fermin Lopez that you can bring off the bench too. A guy who would probably start at most clubs in Europe. He's so direct, always looking to get a goal, which is really nice to see from a La Masia product. He's looking to get forward as quickly as possible, which makes him a perfect fit for Flick, because that's exactly how he wants to play. Vertical, quick, get goals as quickly as possible. Other players have contributed too. Pablo Torre, Eric Garcia, Pau Victor, all have gotten goals while coming off the bench. This is chart number 4. It looks at expected goals per 90 versus goals per 90 for all the teams in La Liga. Now we all know that Barcelona have looked drastically different under Hansi Flick, but this chart from Data MB really reflects Barcelona's dominance on the attacking end compared to all the other teams in La Liga. Barca find themselves in the 99th percentile for pressing, 98th percentile for counters, 97th percentile for goals, 94th percentile for attacking, and in the 92nd percentile for possession. Like I said, it's a great way of statistically showing how good Barca have been attacking wise. Realistically, all of their drop points have come from a lack of clinical finishing, not a lack of chances. When they put the ball into the back of the net, they destroy teams like what they did in 2 separate El Clasicos. Another area that Hansi Flick has really improved at Barca has been set pieces, and their improvement can be seen in chart number 5. As you can see, Barca are both generating more expected goals and scoring more goals per 100 set pieces than they were in previous seasons. Only 3 clubs, Villarreal, Athletic Club, and Girona, are scoring more regularly from dead ball situations in La Liga. Now usually Barca are not a team that you correlate with set pieces, but they are becoming a team that can punish you from anywhere, whether it's open play or a corner or a free kick. They are a constant threat for the entire 90 minutes. I wanted to add this in too as well as a bonus chart. This data here shows that no team in Europe's top 5 leagues has more counterattacks per 90 or a higher pressing rating than Barcelona. What does that mean? It means Barca press you like a grilled cheese sandwich, then as soon as they win the ball they counter. None of this passing without purpose anymore. Flick wants to score and he wants to do it fast. I mean, the guy's a maniac. Remember when he was asking for more goals when Barca were up 7-1 against Real Valladolid? Now let's look at chart number 6. These are Pedri's stats versus all La Liga midfielders. As you can see, he's pretty much number 1 in every metric that matters. Let me read out some of the categories. Pedri is first in passes, passes completed, forward passes, short passes completed, long passes completed, progressive passes completed, passes to the final third, key passes, expected assists, successful dribbles, progressive carries. You guys get the picture. What's funny is that these are only stats that show how good he is on the ball. I'm sure if this was expanded, he's probably at the top for possessions recovered and even distance covered. Because Pedri has shown this season that he isn't just a deep line playmaker. He is the complete package as a central midfielder. People love to label Bellingham with that status of him being this complete package. But now when you talk about Pedri, you also better mention how complete he is. He runs till the final whistle, he puts in tackles, but then can create a goal out of nothing in the final third. His goals and assist tally would be a lot higher if Barca were more clinical. I've literally seen him set up chances on a platter, and the Barca guys have missed it. What I love about this chart is that it allows me to statistically show Pedri's impact to people that don't watch Barca every week. If you aren't watching Barca, I don't know what you're doing, to be honest. There isn't a better product on the market right now. What's even funnier is that despite how well these stats show Pedri's impact, it doesn't tell the whole picture. You really have to watch him. If you are a young Barca fan or a new football fan and didn't have a chance to watch Iniesta and Xavi, Pedri is the closest player to these guys. In fact, what makes him so great is that he combines the best part of both of those players' games. He plays with the same elegance and class that Iniesta did, has the same ability of doing something in the middle of the park that just makes you go wow in real time. The way he carries the ball, it looks like he's gliding, which is Iniesta-esque. But at the same time, the way he controls the tempo, dictates play from the back, spins off multiple defenders like a fidget spinner. It's very Xavi-esque. Pedri doesn't over-celebrate, he doesn't talk about himself. You just watch and appreciate what he's doing. Now we have seen how special Yamal and Pedri are statistically. Chart 7 shows Raphinha's impact. Look at this data. This shows the amount of runs in behind and high intensity sprints in La Liga. The x-axis is runs in behind and the y-axis is high intensity sprints. Now they define a high intensity sprint as a player at over 20 kilometers per hour for at least 0.7 seconds. Roughly how fast Vinny runs to the referee to start weeping. Well, look at who is at the top right, in the messy corner of the chart, ahead in both categories by a long shot. Raphinha's movement has always been exceptional. It is, in my opinion, his best quality. The fact that he is so fast and direct while being able to keep the intensity across 90 minutes of football is ridiculous. That brother needs to be tested, or he has a third lung. Flick came in, profiled Raphinha as someone who is better at running in behind as a direct outlet, and the rest is history. He has been playing at a Ballon d'Or level, shining both in the Champions League and La Liga. In fact, in the Champions League, he's literally been the best player. He's been putting up Messi-esque numbers. That's how good he's been. In fact, I'll throw in some extra stats and data to prove it. He is at the top when it comes to expected assists. He's also at the top in La Liga when it comes to performance. This index is from Data MB, and they have a wide variety of factors that they look at to come up with this number. Well, Raphinha, and as you can see, Yamal, who's tied with him, check off all the boxes. These charts are just there to prove what we see with the eye test. It's no doubt that Raphinha and Yamal have been two of the best players in the world. These guys create chances and score. It's just nice to be able to show some stats and numbers to people that don't tune in, week out. Because to those that have watched Barca all season, they will tell you how good Raphinha has been. Most people know Barcelona are good again, but the data shows they're way better than you even think. Hansi Flick has has turned this team into a relentless machine, and the numbers back it up. The stats, the records, and the charts prove that this isn't just a comeback story, it's the rise of a juggernaut. Flick's Barca isn't just back, they're scarier than ever. He's really created an army. To see what every player's role is in this army, you have to check out this video right here.